Ladies and gremlins, yeah, as you may recall, on Wednesday I did say that we were going to do this lovely washburn. However, that didn't happen. I've taken that out because the jack output socket has failed. I've ordered a new one. It's apparently going to arrive on the 1st of May, or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, in about 10 days, I think. What happened? Well, you see, when I put it on the bench first, and just remember that this had been sat in the corner of a guy's room for a long time. And it's, you know, like light bulbs. You turn a light bulb on and then you can see things, and you turn it off and you go and brew up or go to bed or whatever, and then you come back to it again, you turn it on, it doesn't work. Well, you know, electrical stuff's kind of like that. It works a bit if I faff about with it, and these are sealed units, so you can't get into the damn thing. I mean, I could replace it with a regular jack socket and put a plate on here, but you know me, I like to keep things original. So that is not being reviewed tonight. What we have instead, though, is something equally, if not even more, lovely. And oh my, that weighs in. That weighs in. So let's have a listen to it, see what it does, and then I shall tell you what I can about it. So let's do that. Okay, noise first, and we'll have a listen to the bridge end. That works. So we'll listen to the neck. completeness these days. Yes, definitely very nice. Let's have a listen to them on polite. So we will listen to them on clean now. What we'll tell you is that after all that bending and mucking about, I promise you I have not touched these, and those tuners are not the greatest, but clearly they serve their purpose well, and really not touched them. And that was on the bridge end in the centre. Cool. Arms the neck. Let's have a look round at this lovely old boy. So, the Antoria Pro Star. Now, Antoria themselves have been knocking around since about 1950, and they're experienced guitar manufacturers, certainly. I believe that their early models were made by Gaetone, and I think that their heyday, certainly the Les Paul copies, and SG copies and Strats and so on, they were the early ones from the 70s were made in Japan, very probably in the Gaki plant, but there's not that much information about those. So as I say, post-lawsuit era. Now the pre-lawsuits had the open book headstock, just like your Gibson, but of course Gibson took them all to court, or at least took some of them to court, and there was a lawsuit, hence pre and post lawsuit era. So these no longer now have the open book headstock, and we can reasonably accurately date this to about 1980 because of where it was built, and again because of the headstock. So the production moved to Korea. We think for these, the Samick factory, very respectable indeed, and they were great. They were great guitar. They really, really were. And this, I've got to tell you, out of all the ones this is the first Antoria that I've had, and I've got to tell you, this is absolutely the cream of the crop. For a good few reasons. Certainly, the main two reasons are that it does actually have proper humbuckers in it, whereas the Columbus and what was the other one? I had a Columbus and an Avon, and they had the silver caps on, but hidden inside was actually a single coil. These are in fact double coil pickups, and you'll see some numbers on the back here, and they're pumping out some very respectable figures, about 7.8 or something like that, with just less than 4 in the centre. Very, very, very nicely done. Now, the other thing that leads me to believe that these were very, very well made was because when I came to have a look at the frets, they were perfect. All I've done with the frets is give them a quick polish and condition the fretboard. So let's have a look at the instrument itself. We have got 3 on a side tuners, and the tuners are those horrid capped ones. I've no idea the ratio, I didn't count them, which is unlike me because I'm a bit of a nerd. And but they work absolutely fine. I've been mucking about this for hours and it stayed perfectly in tune. Now, the neck. Oh, look at the neck. I'm guessing that that's mahogany. Let's have a look at a maple neck. Look at the difference. Yeah. So the grain is all different, and obviously there's probably some kind of colour on here, but all the same, I would guess at this being a mahogany neck bolt on. Oh well, can't have everything, can you? But you've got binding all around the headstock, and binding on the neck, binding around the body, which I've got to say, do you not think that that looks nice? I think that is an absolutely beautiful finish, and it does have the pot belly. Now, when I when I took the pickups off, when I restrung it, I always take the pickups out, or at least one of them, just to see what's there. And I've got to tell you, I was kind of looking at these, I was kind of hoping that there might have been a pair of DiMarzios in there, but they're just unbranded, you know, regular humbuckers, but they're absolutely fine. So we've got a scratch plate, of course, and a tunematic style bridge. Intonation, bang on. The only one that was out was the bottom E, and that just needed sharpening up a fraction. And when I did take the pickup out, it's again, you'll see a photo back here, it did look to me as though the body was mahogany and that there was either maple or laminate maple cap on top of it. So a really, really nice construction. The bolt-on neck thing always puzzled me a little. Why bother? I can only imagine that it was for shipping purposes, or, you know, like the bodies and necks are made and then shipped and then assembled in the country of destination. But I've got to tell you, this thing, for 1980, so it's 40 odd years old, it's in an absolutely astonishing condition. There's very, very little in the way of, you know, defects. There's a couple of little nibbles around at the bottom of your knobs there. There's, well, I don't know, have a look. I mean, really, this is a bit of a survivor, bit of a time warp job, I would have to say. But the main thing for me is that it plays beautifully. I did have to give the truss rod a quick, just a quarter of a turn, just to get that string height to where we like it, 1.25. So fresh set of nines setup is just, it's brilliant, really way better than you could reasonably expect. Tells you here, of course, that it was made, in fact, in Korea. And it looks as though there's some kind of serial number there, but that has become unreadable now. I'll have a look at the action there, the string height. The fret leveliness and finishing is just really way beyond any of my expectations. So all in all, a really, really great guitar, a really, really great blast from the past. And I do want to show you, this one came with its original hard shell case. Probably not as well built as today's items, but all the same, what a lovely thing to have. The only, well, apart from the, you know, little scuffs and whatever around it, the only thing that is particularly defective is that this has lost one of its rivets, but when closed, it's, you know, absolutely sound. Inside we have, as one might expect, a cubby hole and a nice beige, hello, a nice beige faux fur lining. And I'm so happy generally with the guitar. The work that I've had to do has been absolutely minimal. Quick truss rod, new strings, one string needed intonating, and that was absolutely it. And it's so easy to play. But I'll tell you what, it weighs in. This weighs 4.1 kilograms. So, all in all, it's a happy story. And with that, I shall bid you a fond farewell. Hopefully we'll be doing those tuners on the Mad Malco Buckstang on Wednesday. So I shall look forward to seeing you then. Have a lovely rest of the weekend, folks. And it's adios amigos. Ta-ra.